Hello planner friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for coming along and watching my video and for the visit. If you're not new here and you've been watching for a while, thank you for continuing to watch my videos and come along for the ride. I appreciate it. So what in the heck is this and why is it on my video or on my channel? This is a Jibun Techo Days, and if you've been watching for a while, you'll know that this was one of the contenders for 2022 that I was thinking about using. I bought the A5 as well as the B6 Slim. This is the B6 Slim. I sold the A5. I had bought the weeks and the days in both sizes because I was thinking about using them this year, and I had actually thought about using the days for work potentially, as well as potentially for personal planning. And if you watch my last video, you'll know that I have decided that bound books are not for me, or I'm making that decision that I'm not going to use a bound book. Let me just say that. There's nothing wrong with them. They have a huge appeal to me. I like the idea of having everything all in one book, having it for archival purposes, all of those things. I love the aesthetic of the Japanese planners, but I'm just a rings girl. I can't seem to make the switch. No matter how hard I try, I always end up back in rings. So for 2022, I am accepting the fact that I'm a rings girl and I'm going to try to stay there. So why do I have this Jibun Techo Days here to show you? The answer is I wanted to walk through, because I did set up and use it a little bit. I didn't do a complete setup, but I wanted to walk through how I had anticipated using it and how I did some planning in it, just to give you an idea if this was something that you were thinking about using, or if you were curious about a Jibun Techo Days, just to kind of share with you my thoughts about it. So first of all, this is a daily planner and it comes in two books. You can see it's very thin. There's two books. There's one for the first half of the year, one for the second half of the year. You get this nice plastic cover that has a pocket on the front. It has some credit card pockets here, and then in the back there is a pocket where you can see I have a Hobonichi stencil. It has a pen loop. So, I mean, if you're wanting something that's really light and compact and easy to carry, they have thought of it all. I mean, they've really done a good job, and that's one of the reasons why I keep trying to make a Jibun Techo work for me, or a Hobonichi work for me, because the Japanese stationery market is just so well thought out and so so nice, and a combination of minimal, practical, and simple all at the same time, that it's really hard to walk away from. But I'm just a rings girl. So anyway, this is the days, and it is I forgot what they call this paper, but it's similar to the Tomoe River paper, but it's not. I want to say it's not the Mio paper, because that's what's in the Biz Weeks, but it has that same similar feel to the Jibun Techo. It's a little bit toothier, a little bit heavier, and it does have a slight tint to it. It's not a pure white, but I like it well enough. I mean, it didn't bother me. It does have that finickiness that Tomoe River paper has in terms of things having to dry. So if you do consider this, just be aware of that. The Jibun Techo Weeks, that's the Biz version, that paper is much more like gel pen highlighter friendly even than this. So just something to be aware of. So there is in the front this year at a glance, which if I were using this, I would probably highlight school holidays, things like that. And then here is another year at a glance. Now, I had thought about using this for work, and when I was thinking about using this for work, I was going to make note of like product release dates. I work in product development, so I was going to be making note of like product release dates and milestones and things like that for projects. If I decide to go back and use this for work, I may do that, but I haven't put anything on here yet, obviously. Then these are just some other pages. This says my dream, my event. So I guess these could be major events or plans that you have. Your 100 wishes. So this is similar to the Jibun Techo 100. I mean, excuse me, the Hobonichi 100. Although I think it's funny that there's all these other ones. I don't know why they just didn't number it and call it 100 and whatever, but they didn't. So you can do that yourself, I guess. And then there's several of these pages that are just lists. So if you wanted to, I was thinking that what I would probably do on this page is make one of these columns like books, movies, podcasts, TV shows, something like that. But then I realized I had all of these. So then I thought, well, I don't know what I'd use these for, but so you have a lot. That's the thing about the Jibun Techo that I like, is they have all this stuff already set up for you, so you don't have to use a grid page or something. They've done all the design work. So when I was thinking about using this, I went ahead and set this up for January just to kind of walk through what it would be like. And the nice thing about this is, like I said, they do all the work for you. There's a tracker down here. You've got the month at a glance, you've got the tracker, you've got you could put monthly tasks or important dates or stuff here. The calendar is a little squished because they took up this real estate for the tracker, but I didn't mind it when I was setting it up. It didn't feel crowded because the grid size was small enough. So I just put some things out here just to kind of, I figured if I was going to write in it, I wasn't going to, get rid of it. So I just have it as a backup if I decided to get rid of it. Decided to use it again. It is the first 6 months of the year, so you have the full monthlies for the first 6 months, and then this is really nice. I like, and Hobonichi could take a lesson in this for their Avec version of their planners. This is the rest of the year, but it's a half a page, so you can pre-plan if you need to for the rest of the year because you have it in here, which makes it nice, especially if you get closer and closer to June and you're starting to plan things further out into the year. So then it goes into the days, and the first page of the month has this like dashboard page, and these things are like, what are your goals for the month? I've translated this using Google Translate, and JetPens has a nice page on their site where they tell you what these things are, but it's like things, it's almost like start, stop, continue down here, things that you've been doing that you want to start, continue doing, things that you want to start doing. That kind of stuff. What went well, what didn't go well last month. So I had thought I would probably make up my own what these would be and use this, like, key projects or tasks for the month, that kind of thing, but I didn't do anything with it. And then it goes into the daily, and holidays and Sundays are in red. So that's why this is in red, because it was New Year's Day. You've got your timeline down the middle of the page. You've got some boxes here for tasks. Up here is a place for weather. This is the day of the year, the first day of the year, so whatever day of the year it is. And then down here at the bottom, you've got a place for mood and notes, and you've got a monthly calendar. I originally thought this was really cool, but I don't know whether it's because I'm so used to the Hobonichi style daily, and the DIY Fish daily that I use has that same style with the timeline over on the left. But this timeline down the middle of the page just broke my brain. Like, I sat and stared at this for the longest time going, how am I going to do this? How am I going to, divide it up? And it's on the right side, where in my head it should be on the left side, and the tasks on the right. So it really threw me for a loop, which is part of why I think I never really jumped into this very far. So the other thing is I like to have that weekly view, which, the horizontal Hobonichi week style view with a task list. And I like having a day per page, but I didn't know how I would make that work. And I didn't want to carry a separate notebook or planner that just had weeks in it. So I was trying to figure out how to make it work. And here's what I ended up doing. I made a week. So I decided that I would sacrifice my Sundays to do the horizontal week, and I would use this middle timeline to my advantage to divide up the page. So this would be where I'd have my weekly overview. This would be my weekly tasks, and then down here I could put, like what I'm watching, what I'm reading. So I did this just to see how it would work, and it actually works pretty good. Then it's like, okay, well, what do you do with Sunday if you were using Sunday for this? And my thought was that I would break Saturday into 2 columns, because I don't have a lot of time-bound stuff on Saturday. So it's usually a task list more than anything. So this could be Saturday, this could be Sunday, and that's how the weekend would be handled. I know for some of you that would be a deal breaker because you don't work a traditional 5-day Monday through Friday work week, and Saturday and Sunday are your are work days for you as well. But you know, maybe you could do something like this if you wanted to. So here's how I started playing around with this, trying to see if it would work. So my to-dos, again, the bulk of my day, I'm working. And I typically start somewhere between 7 and 8, and I typically quit somewhere between 6 and 7 in the evening. So, you know, the bulk of this is wasted space for me. This went back to why I didn't think I could make this work, because when I started actually planning stuff out, I was like, well, unless I write my work appointments in here, this is just going to be blank all the time. And I don't really need or want my work appointments in here unless they're outside of my normal work hours. So I don't know why I would do that. This was, you know, place for notes, what we had for dinner, what we were watching on TV. You can see, you know, I just tried it. Like, this was a 7 a.m. call, so I wanted to have that here so I didn't forget that I needed to get online earlier than normal. But see how blank this is? It just, I was like, this is a waste of space. So here's another day. I think I planned a week or two, you know, just kind of mocking things up to see. And that's when I was like, nope, this is just going to work. So here's Saturday and Sunday. So this was the Saturday day, and this was Saturday, this was Sunday. And then I used the Sunday page to plan out the next week, which that I like. That this doesn't bother me. But again, the bulk of my day is blank. So yeah. I think if you weren't using like an online calendar, then it might be different. But for me, it just didn't make sense. So, yeah, here's the week of the 17th. I planned, you know, I laid it out. And this is, you can see I've got my page marker here. This was when I was like, yeah, this is dumb. So I even thought, well, I could just put, you know, what was going on here. But it just felt like a waste. So this will go back on the shelf, maybe. The other thought I had was using this for work. I have so much in terms of project management tasks and things I'm keeping track of, and things I need to follow up with other people on. And right now, and at some point I'll film a bullet journal video and show you how I bullet journal for work. But right now, I just write my tasks in line in the middle of my meeting notes, in the middle of my day, and I just start a blank page each day and, you know, use as many pages as I need. So I did think about using this in conjunction with my bullet journal for work and using it as a task tracker. But a lot of times I will take notes in meetings and have tasks that I don't have to execute on a specific day. I just need to get them done, and I don't necessarily want to tie them to a day. So I really just need a task list, not a calendar. So I don't know. This probably won't get used, which is sad because it's really nice. But I can't see how I'd make it work for me. I did have one of the idea books from a previous B6 Slim weekly that I had used. This one I've not written on because it comes in a pack of 2. So I stuck this back here because I thought if I did end up using this, this would be where I could put all the things that I didn't put in the front here, or that I wanted to carry, you know, beyond this 6 months into, you know, another 6 months, or, you know, forward. Things that are not necessarily time specific. Again, I just love the way, I mean, see how thin this is? And it's really nice. It's really thin paper and nice grid, very well thought out. And the fact that, you know, they have this whole design where you basically put this notebook in the back and you have a whole system. You could put a notebook in the front. They have one called My Life that has a bunch of things that, you know, if you wanted to have that. I've never bought one, but I know people who use it. But yeah, this is the Jibun Techo Days, another failed planner attempt that I wanted to experiment with. I've been curious about ever since they came out. So I scratched the itch, indulged myself, and got one. And it makes me sad that it won't work for me because I really like the concept. I really like the way it works or looks, but it's just not going to work with the way I plan or with my life right now. So I thought I would share in case any of you were curious or thinking about the days, and just give you a quick look at the planner, and I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's great, and if I could figure out how to make it work for myself, I would use it. But again, I've just decided to settle into rings for this year, so that's where I'm going to be. So what about you? Are you a book-bound person, or are you a rings person? Can you use both? Do you love one and hate the other, or are you like me? You love the idea of one, but the practicality of the other? Let me know in the comments. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.